You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
The Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Procter & Gamble earnings indicate some people are used to paying more. P&G says higher prices are still behind its sales growth, but first purchased more things in the recent quarter. Volume increased, especially for hair and family care products. P&G makes Tide, Bounty paper towels, Crest toothpaste, and many other brands. Though earnings declined, part of the drop came from an expense at its Gillette business. P&G's sales rose 3%. General Electric shares are lower despite an expected quarter. Johnson & Johnson is also reporting earnings and revenue that top predictions, as is 3M. But the forecasts are coming in cautious. GE, J&J, and 3M shares are all lower. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. With skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios.
Across New Hampshire, I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Get to vote, grab your neighbor, grab everybody, you gotta.
Former President Trump telling supporters he has to win big, like in Iowa, so the party can unify around him.
We have to send the signal that we're not playing games. This country has gone to hell.
Predicting he could knock out his last Republican challenger today, but Nikki Haley tells Fox.
No, I don't get out if I lose today.
She says before today, Iowa has been the only contest.
We've had 56,000 people vote for Donald Trump, and you're going to say that's what the country wants? That's not what the country wants.
There is also a Democratic primary. Congressman Dean Phillips is hoping for an upset win because President Biden, who finished 5th there in 2020, isn't even on the New Hampshire ballot.
This year, the DNC moved up South Carolina's primary, moved back New Hampshire's. The state didn't accept that because of their state law moving ahead with their primary anyway. So there are a bunch of Democratic groups to get voters to write in Joe Biden's name on the ballot there so he can win.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House tonight will be there for the vote counting with special coverage of the primary results starting at 6:06 p.m. Eastern on FoxNewsRadio.com. The Supreme Court has given the Biden administration a temporary win at the border, allowing it to remove razor wire Texas's Republican governor ordered put up to stop a record surge of illegal immigration. GOP Congressman Andy Ogles tells Fox Business is an invasion.
We don't need new laws to secure the border. We need to let Greg Abbott do his job, which is to put up the razor wire.
Oppenheimer could win a lot of Oscars. Nominated for 13 Academy Awards, among the contenders for Best Picture.
American Fiction.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Barbie.
The Holdovers.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Maestro.
Oppenheimer.
Past Lives.
Poor Things.
And The Zone of Interest.
Announced this morning by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, we will find out the Oscar winners March 10th. America's listening to Fox News.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ROCK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 42424.
Your drive time is live and local. Hey, folks, it's me, Joe Cunningham, and my show, The Joe Cunningham Show, airs every day from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. You can get it all. News and commentary you can't get from anywhere else on the local, state, and national level, plus your calls and your comments through our KPEL app chat. It's a fun drive home here on The Joe Cunningham Show, News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
Dino's Pizza is like no other. It's family-owned and operated in the Acadiana area, serving the highest quality pizza on their signature crispy cracker-like crust. Make Dino's part of your family traditions, located at Bertrand and Collie Saloon.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us on a terrific Tuesday, and looking forward to the day. 844-766-6607 is the number. It's Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. Honored to have Honorable Senator John Kennedy from the great state of Louisiana. Senator Kennedy, how you doing?
Moon, I'm great. While I was on hold, I talked to your son, who's working there with you, and he's smarter than you, Moon.
Well, John, that ain't saying much.
And you know what else he told me? He told me we haven't met, but he told me he's better looking than you, too. And I said, that's a low bar, man.
No, look, John, I got to tell you, the two things my mama never told me was that I was smart and that I look good. So you ain't saying much, brother. I got to tell you, you're not saying a whole lot. Anyway, it's good to have you with us today. I appreciate you taking a few minutes.
You better believe it.
John, and there's a lot of things in direction we can go, but one of the main ones, just because people want to know, we keep looking at this, and I'm going to jump gears with you just on this one. The budget, $34 trillion in debt. It never stops. We put it off 2 or 3 months, only to put it off for 2 or 3 months, only to put it. Are we ever going to stop the spending trend? Because sooner or later, this blows up on us so bad, it's not even fun. There's no way you can continue doing this. So I'm just kind of curious if you can get my mind around this budget and budget deficit stuff, because some of us got problems with it. Just can you address it a little bit?
Sure. We have no chance of changing this until we have a change of administration. And by that, I mean getting President Biden out of the White House, having Republicans control the Senate, and having Republicans control the House. Now, even then, that's not a guarantee, Moon, because there are a lot of folks up here on the Republican side who talk a good game, but when it comes down to actually reducing the deficit and getting control of spending, they don't want to do it. But it's not going to happen under this administration. We're struggling with the budget because those of us who think we run deficits not because we tax too little, but because we spend too much, are resisting this effort to do an omnibus. A lot of the members of the House are doing a great job, in my opinion, including and especially Mike Johnson, to try to hold the spending down. And that's what's going on. And we may not ever have a budget. We may just end up voting to continue the current budget.
Yeah, well, that's. I just don't see how we ever maintain this. That's why. And if it ever blows up, and it's just a matter of time, it will. It's going to be because, we didn't have enough people. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrats that did the right thing. That was always been a concern with me. I just think when you disrespect money, it eventually going to disrespect you, and that's my big beef with.
Well, there's no free lunch, and you don't get one now.
No,
I mean it's real simple. Americans understand. Louisianians understand. If you every month you put more and more on the credit card and just pay the minimum, sooner or later you can't sustain it, and we're getting there. The only reason we're able to that Washington's able to keep doing this is because the American economy is so strong that when we issue debt, people will buy it. They'll loan us the money to keep doing it.
But let me ask you a question off of that. If today everybody said not buying anymore, that would change the landscape real quick, wouldn't it?
Oh, we're once and truly screwed if that happens.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden we stuck out, we floated this debt, because that's all Treasury bonds are. You're just borrowing money. It's like going to the bank and saying, loan me more money so I can buy another car.
Yeah.
If we tried to sell these bonds and everybody throughout the world said, nope, we don't want any more. You borrowed too much, we're once and truly screwed.
Yeah,
we would be forced then.
Yeah, but that's my big fear, John, is that I just don't want to go through a Great Depression. I've read and heard enough about it, but that's what it would lead to. And I'm not trying to get you on a negative side. I just think this spending.
No, but the other argument I hear from the Biden people, Moon, all the time is, well, it doesn't matter your growth in debt. What matters is if your economy's growing faster than your debt. Well, number one, I don't agree with that. But number two, our economy's not growing faster than our debt.
No.
We're losing every minute.
Well, it's causing, and I'll stop with this, it's causing unbelievable inflation every time we print money. And and I'm telling you what, I went yesterday, and I don't grocery shop a whole lot. I came back, my wife, we went to the grocery store, she forgot to get a bag of chips. So I ran in, got the chips, and I didn't pay attention. I grabbed the chips, put it up, record. I self-checked out. I know you don't believe I can do that, Senator Kennedy, but I can. And I checked out $6.29 for a bag of chips. We're usually paying at $3 something. And I thought, holy cow, proving I don't really know reality either when it comes to the grocery store because my bride does the shopping. But I saw that and I thought, this is outrageous for a bag of chips. And I just couldn't believe what I just paid for. But I paid for it because I wanted it. But anyway,
sure.
I just think this is the problem. The other big problem that I see.
Well, if I could just say,
yes,
you're
sir.
right. It is a problem. And President Biden keeps saying, well, inflation's coming down. And inflation is, in some areas, coming down. But that doesn't mean prices are falling. All inflation coming down means is that prices are going up less rapidly.
Yeah.
We're still stuck with the high prices. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit to go in the store today, up here especially, to find out that a honey bun costs $10 now. Yeah. I mean, it is, and it's really hurting ordinary Americans. It's not hurting the elites. They're fine. They're making plenty of money, but it's hurting the rest of us.
I'm very middle class, and I saw $6.29 on chips, and I thought, holy cow! I know I didn't pay that last time I bought them. And once again, I don't grocery shop a whole lot. The other thing that I wanted to talk with you, by the way, if you're just joining us, we're honored to have Senator John Kennedy, our special guest. The other thing is the border problem. I saw where they said 6.5 million have come across in 3 years. That probably means it's 13 million. But the big problem is the Supreme Court. And you look at what they did in Texas, where they were putting up these fences and stuff. Supreme Court on a 5-4 with Republicans 6-3 ruled that no, the federal government can go in there and tear them down and cut them up. Well, that's not going to help the problem. I don't understand a ruling by the Supreme Court.
Well, in fairness to the Supreme Court, I haven't read the ruling.
Okay.
I'm going to. It's in my reading file, but I haven't. But let me tell you what's going on the border, okay? President Biden says, okay, I'm serious this time. I want to secure the border. But yet every day we're trying to negotiate this new border reform, and he fights us every single day. Now, American people need to wake up, as they have, and smell the incompetence and the hypocrisy. Joe Biden believes in open borders. We're not going to get completely control of this border until he's out of the White House and we've got control again, because they believe in open borders. For whatever reason, they believe in them. Joe Biden, if he were serious about controlling this border, he could do it in 6 weeks. And I can go through the measures. I won't bore you with it, but the 5 or 6 things he could do that would secure it. And he doesn't need a law, okay? Yeah. But what we're trying to do between now and Election Day is figure out something to stem the flow. We've had 20 million people come into this country illegally, and we don't know who they are. That's like 5 Nebraskas, man.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to stem the tide until we can get President Biden out of the White House and into a retirement home.
Well, read
and that's what's going on. But he's fighting us every step of the way.
I'd like for you to go back and read, and I know you don't have time to do everything every second when it happens, but I wish you to go back and read that ruling, because here we are. We got a state that's fighting it, and the Supreme Court all of a sudden says no. And by the way, the headlines read Biden won, and that bothers me. But it also is the headlines of the media, and you know how bad the media is, not only in the federal government but in our state of Louisiana. And so headlines sometimes don't say it all, but when I did read about it, I thought, holy cow, I can't believe we're having something like this.
Well, I don't know what they based their ruling on. It could have been interstate commerce. It could have been the supremacy clause. You know, I want to be fair and read it first. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you. I saw the headlines. I knew they would be those kind of headlines up here in D.C. I saw them in Louisiana, too. And, well, let's face it, Louisiana is a news desert now.
Oh, no doubt.
Thank God for TV news and radio news, because otherwise you would never know what's going on, except, you know, you would think Joe Biden was doing a great job. They worship at the altar of the loon wing of the Democratic Party.
Well, they do that here, too, and you know it, because they worship the altar of Bill Edwards. And the trajectory of the state was not good, and it got a lot worse the last 8 years. But if you read the news media, you thought we did great. And without federal money and without disasters, we'd be in big trouble down here, Senator Kennedy. I know you guys' job is to bring money back in, but it would be bad.
We've got time to turn it around.
I agree.
I mean, if the new governor and the new legislature get serious and control regulation and try to reduce taxes and build infrastructure, not more than they can afford now, mm-hmm. and get serious about educating kids and not that we don't have good people trying now, but we need school choice and put pressure on the public schools and make them better. We can pull out of this. Yeah. I'm not a big believer that the grass is always greener somewhere else. Grass is green when you water it. Yeah. And for 8 years we haven't watered our grass in Louisiana.
That's a good scenario, and I'll just tell you, I just want to see some of these changes, because we need some big steps, and that's the problem. We need some big steps. Hey, Senator, I'm gonna take a break. Your lady said you can stay one more segment. So let's take a break, and I'll come back and give you 6-7 more minutes. We'll talk a little bit about Israel, what's happening with them as well. I think you got some parental...
Okay, we'll talk about anything you want.
Okay, parental rights stuff that you'd like to talk about as well. So let's take a break.
We can talk about fishing if you want to.
Well, I'm all in for that now, no doubt about it. All right, United States Senator John Kennedy, my special guest. Take a break. Be right back. You know, when you're selling your home, you know, one of the most important things you can even consider is, does that person really care about you? You think, oh, they're selling everybody's home. Nicole Spellman Group, they really care about you as a person. They want you to sell your home because you know you want to be stress-free on this thing. And you can't get there if you don't have somebody you have confidence in. Nicole Spellman takes away the stress of selling your home. You know, you can say goodbye to the guesswork when it comes to selling your home if you go with Nicole Spellman Group. Why? They take the guesswork out of it. They have a system called a home value estimator. It's a game changer for sellers, no doubt about it. If you go to NicoleSpellmanGroup.com, right on the homepage under sellers, click on What's My Home Value? Enter your address and find out what your home is worth in 30 seconds. That's the value of using Nicole Spellman Group. You know, that's why I trust the number one team serving the entire state of Louisiana, the Nicole Spellman Group, to sell my home. Go online, NicoleSpellmanGroup.com, or just Google Nicole Spellman Group. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could Protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases. Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com. Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6667. It's the Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. United States Senator John Kennedy joins us for one more segment to go. Senator Kennedy, I know we talked about money a while ago. Where are we at when it comes to Israel? I know Ukraine, we keep sending Ukraine all this money, and I know you've been a supporter of that. But where are we at with Israel? Where are we at with Ukraine? As far as money, funding, support, and things of that nature right now. John, are you there?
I'm here, mate.
Okay, did you get my question?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
All right, I'm sorry. Well, you got you now. No, what I said, where are we at? Where are we with Ukraine? I know you supported them, and we talked about all this money and money problems, but we keep supporting Ukraine. And then there's Israel. And how do we support one, support the other? Where are we at with these two countries right now, and how are we going to support them?
Well, good question. The money for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and border security is all tied up in one bill. For 3 months, there's been a gab fest in the Senate where the James Lankford on my side of the aisle is negotiating with Chris Murphy, the Democrat. They're both working hard, the good guys and all that, but it's just been a gab fest. And I don't know if we're ever going to reach an agreement. What's going to happen after that, I have no idea. In terms of Israel, I will tell you the recipe for world peace is not weakness. And President Biden is the epitome of weakness. Mm-hmm. He needs to leave Israel alone, let Israel go in and destroy Hamas. Mm-hmm. I mean, wipe them off the face of the earth, and then turn to the rest of the Arab community, excluding Iran, and saying it is your responsibility to govern the Palestinians and teach them not to hate. Now, that's the only way we're going to have peace in the Middle East. Joe Biden and his Secretary of State, we're in a bar fight, and they want to quote Socrates and read Beowulf. Mm-hmm. And we got to just go win this damn thing and knock Hamas out permanently. That's my opinion, and I'm ready to give them money to do it.
But what about do you think it's still smart to give money to Ukraine? And if it is, why?
I don't know. It depends on what kind of aid. We haven't seen the bill.
Okay.
Are you talking about
we've given them money.
Pension system?
Yeah, but we've given them money in the past.
Military aid? Are we talking about paying their pensions? Look, I don't want America to be the world's policeman. I don't. But I also don't want Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping in China or the Ayatollah to be the world's policeman either. And there is no question. I've seen in my mind, I've seen the classified information. Those three are working together. They think the Biden administration is a pushover. They will take advantage of him every step of the way. And America has got to stand its ground. We can't depend on Europe. I love the Europeans. But if it wasn't for the United States of America, Putin would be in Paris right now. Yeah. That's just a fact. Yeah, no. And it's a total freak show up here, Moon.
Yeah.
We don't have a budget. I'm not sure we'll have a budget. The bills, they've been talking about it for 3 months. I have no idea how it's going to turn out.
Well, it normally doesn't turn out great for America. One other thing, you have a bill to restore parental rights. What bill is that, and what rights does it restore?
My bill is with a number of other senators, James Lankford, Tim Scott, a whole bunch of other good people. All we're saying is, remember when Secretary Hillary Clinton said it takes a village to raise a child? What she meant was it takes the federal government to raise a child. No, it doesn't. It takes a parent, and preferably two parents. And all our bill would do is say that parents have the right to raise their children according to their own values. For example, if the federal government tried to require schools to assist a child changing sexes without parental permission, the federal government would be prohibited from doing that. If the federal government told a teacher you can't share any of this information with the parent, our bill would give a cause of action for you to sue the federal government. That's all it does. Okay. That's all it does. Yeah. Now, we'll be called bigots and xenophobics and racists and all that kind of stuff, but all this is just saying parents control.
By the way, people calling you racist and xenophobe and all that stuff, they get their choice too. And they get to do what they want to do too. It's kind of crazy. Course. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, this is what it's come down to up here. If you don't, they call you a racist, a bigot, a Nazi if you don't agree with everything that Joe Biden wants to do. And he's controlled by the moon wing of the Democratic Party. And frankly, there are many news sources in Louisiana now that do that.
No doubt.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Yeah. But the American people aren't stupid. They figured it out. Yeah. And the people in Louisiana figured this out long ago.
Senator Kennedy, got to go. Thank you. God bless. Hey, folks, my friend at Schumacher Homes dedicated to making sure the custom home building is within reach for everyone. Your custom-built home. And Schumacher Homes does a great job of building custom homes. They're going to provide you with a dedicated team of specialists who give you choices and tools necessary to create your home and your dream home. The new year is a perfect time, right now, perfect time to take the first steps toward realizing your dream home. Schedule your free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting today by calling or visiting SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com, celebrating over 3 decades of crafting affordable custom homes. Schumacher Homes has always made it their goal to make the home building journey enjoyable, simple, and hassle-free. They're going to provide a devoted team to build your home. They're going to keep you up to date. Any tricks in the armor, they're going to come right to you and say, hey, we got a problem. We got a situation. Schumacher Homes will make it like you want it. SchumacherHomes.com, and let the professionals give you a free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting right now. Folks, remember the name, All Field Equipment, allfieldequipment.com. When I say all, ALLfield.com. All Field Equipment, founded in 2016 by my good friend, Mr. Bill Allen, and over 50 years of experience in the oil and gas industry. Hey, this is a great company to do business with. They're in the oil and gas business. You keep production up so you can yield as much profit as possible, right? All Field Equipment Incorporated is where you can find the all field equipment you need for maximum production. Their shop is in Broussard, Louisiana. It serves Ark-La-Tex region. Over 35 years of industry experience, we have what it takes to keep your business in motion. We understand the importance of keeping your wells pumping and flowing, and that's why we offer a wide range of all-field equipment to ensure that your production runs smoothly. We're the only all-field supply company in Louisiana with production equipment knowledge, of open 24/7, one of the largest supporters of bottled water in the Gulf. All-field can repair any and all production valves and controllers. Allfieldequipment.com. ALLfieldequipment.com.
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Got a lot of stuff loaded up today. The media all excited that Jeff got beat somewhat trying to build Cameron half-ass Henry up. I'll get to that later. Psycho Bill all excited about this $1.3 billion infrastructure bill. He's bragging on, that's why I was at the table, causing my potato chips to be $6.29 a bag. Blue Cross Blue Shield, car insurance, all that as we roll through the program. Anyway, Representative Josh Carlson joins us. Josh is a representative. He is a freshman representative. He got his first first bite of the apple last week. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Moon. Thanks for having me on today.
Well, just a real quick, before I get into the Q&A with you, what was your first assessment? Because everybody tells me you go down there with a head and a deer in a headlight look, number one. Number two is the lobbyists swamp you to try to help you out and to make sure you see it their way. So what was the first take?
It was certainly a unique experience, and we didn't even have many of the lobbyists work in the special session, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like when we get to the regular session this year. But it was a lot of fun, very eye-opening. But I'm very optimistic about what's going to be happening in the state coming up over the next few months and over the next few years.
Well, I know the district, which I think would be ruled unconstitutional, but the closed primaries, and I know you voted for it, but you saw how it worked, though, and it works like this a lot. The House passes a really good piece of legislation, and the Senate crushes it. It's been going like that forever. The Senate is where good bills go to die. You saw what happened. Now you vote for something that you really probably didn't want to vote for.
You're exactly right. When it came to congressional redistricting, and I said it in the committee that I was in, I think this is a terrible map, but it is the best of the bad options since we were mandated to do it. Either we're going to do it or the judge is going to draw it. And I know that our map is going to be better than the district that she was going to draw. And, we'll see if there's further pending litigation as a result of this map. But I think at least it gets it out of the unelected judge's hands. And you're absolutely right. I was excited about the closed primary bill. I'm in favor of closed primaries. I wanted to see it from the governor's office down to dog catcher. I wanted to see it at every position. I think it's fundamentally unfair for a member not of a certain party to elect that party's representatives to represent that party's values. If you don't want to be associated with a party, that's fine. You still have a right to vote, and you can make your voice heard. And so I think it's the way that we need to go. I think it's a priority of the governors. And so I wanted to see more in the original bill that the House passed. But I was like, I think this is a great first start. I know we've got a very short session here. And then, so I was, I guess a little naively optimistic. Yep. And then, like you said, it went over to the Senate. And all of a sudden I hear, there's only a fraction of the elected officials will be included in the closed primary. And so, it was not what I was hoping for. But I think it's a step in the right direction. And like I said, I know I'm certainly committed to it. I think it is a top priority of the governor. And so I think you'll continue to see us taking steps in that direction.
And Josh, I know you don't get to listen to me a lot, but that's the worst words I like to hear. And I tell you, a freshman, step in the right direction. I hate it because we never take another step. I hate that word. I do. No, by the way, you didn't know your first time on, but that's the most that makes me cringe when I hear step in the right direction. But I'm good with you, Josh. Don't worry about it. You good. You're young. But what I'm saying is, see, it's bills like that. I believe that if we don't take some not big steps, big leaps and big gains, you really can't change the state. And I was totally disappointed in Cameron Henry and what the Senate did. I know when it came back, y'all had to get something. But I believe someone like you is a good conservative. I believe you're going to vote right. And I believe you can defend your record with conservatives. But there's a lot of Republicans that cannot defend their voting record. And that's basically what you saw. I'm not saying you got to name people. I will. You don't have to. But that's what you saw. And that's the kind of stuff that y'all going to have to do. We did tort reform a few years ago. They said a step in the right direction. We never moved it again. Never moved it at all, and it didn't do anything. So those are the type things that bother me. Some things will have to be moved slowly. I'm with you. But we need some big wins. I just thought that was the lowest hanging fruit, and we didn't get a chance to get that over.
I agree. Look, I thought this was an easy win. It was not controversial. It was, like you said, low-hanging fruit, something we could easily get done. And look, you're absolutely right. Typical history in Louisiana is pass a little bill that doesn't really move the needle too much, and we never revisit it. We never go back to it, and we never really change. And I couldn't agree more. If we're going to transform the state into what we all want Louisiana to be and hope Louisiana will be, it's not going to happen with small changes around the edges. We're going to need real reform, and so I'm hoping that we all have the courage to really make some transformative changes.
Yeah, and I know someone like you do. I know I watch your campaign. I watch your message. I think you're ready to go get something done. But that's why I'm saying I don't like all those phrases, and it's not your fault. I just don't like them because every time there's a step in the right direction, then we take 19 back and we never move it forward. Josh, let me ask you a question, because what committees did you end up getting on, if I can ask?
So I was on House and Governmental Affairs for the special session, but going into the regular session, I'll be on education, civil law, and retirement.
Okay, yeah. Now, I won't touch two of them, but education is going to be important because I know there's a big move to put school choice, and the education committees are going to have to deliver. So that's going to probably be one of the big things that you're going to, and you may know of some things that are coming down the pike that I don't, but I know school choice is going to be something really big that comes through the education committee.
That's exactly why I requested that committee. I come from a family of educators, from my dad being the dean of the College of Education at UL for 20 plus years. My mom was a teacher. My wife is a teacher. I understand the needs of teachers, but I also know and have seen what schools have become. And many schools have become a place where kids are indoctrinated and not educated. And if we're going to transform the state, like we were talking a minute ago about doing, it's going to happen with a radical transformation of our school system. And if you look at Arkansas, right, a state that we normally don't compare ourselves to in the South because they haven't ever really done, they haven't been strong competition, right? They're not Florida, they're not Texas. A year ago, they passed school choice or education savings accounts where school or state tax dollars for education follows the student.
Yep.
So if you're going to public school because it has a program or a athletic program that you want to be a part of, your tax dollars go there. If it's private school, public school, charter school, homeschool, whatever variation, whatever best fits you, that's, I think, the direction that we need to head. And so that's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm looking at, because that will help us not only compete with other states. I think it's going to really transform the way that we look and approach education in the state.
Yeah, and that's why I said that committee, that's a very important committee. I mean, I know they had Cleo Fields on the Senate side, and nothing changed in the educational part. But I think y'all going to have an opportunity to move the needle forward. Once again, Josh Carlson, my special guest. But, Josh, anything else you want to add? I know there's a crime special session supposed to start sometime toward the latter part of February and March.
That's right. I think we're going to see it maybe the third week of February. We haven't seen any official calls coming out of the governor's office, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But I think, trying to get past Washington Mardi Gras and all of that and jumping into it. I know that's something that's very near and dear to the governor's heart. He really focused on that during the election, that if, all these talks about closed primaries and education and transforming our business environment, those things don't matter if people don't feel safe to live here.
Yep.
And, so there are many places throughout the state where that is the case, and people have expressed the need to really focus on that area. So I think we'll do that in the special session. And then it's, mid-March right into the regular session. And like you said, that's where I think we've got to prioritize transformative change for the state. Otherwise, we're never going to have another opportunity like this again, and we better capitalize on it.
Just remember, we need some gigantic leaps, not just small baby steps. And I'm telling you, crime, jobs, insurance, all that stuff's got to be done. Closed primaries was the easiest, and we didn't get nearly what we should have got. But anyway, look, I got to go. Thank you, sir. God bless, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much, man. Talk to you soon.
All right. Representative Josh Carter, he's a freshman. Step in the right direction. I was shaking over here. My son Walker was looking at me like, Dad, you all right? We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. The Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. We'll be right back. Your calls are welcome. From the humbling beginning, Dino Hardwoods is striving to provide superior service and quality products for their customers. Hey, I know Charles Altman. He does a great job. If you're looking for lumber, Dino Hardwoods stocks a large selection of domestic and import hardwood lumber and cypress. You ought to see their stuff. Exotic lumber, they got that as well. Trust in Dino Hardwoods when it comes to your exotic lumber needs right now. Molding, plywood, paint, and L products, they are ready for you. They got 3 great locations. The corporate office is right here in Broussard, Louisiana. There's an office in Shreveport on 2801 Valley View Drive and one in Tyler, Texas, 12492 Highway 155 North. Hey, if you're looking for something different and something new and somebody who will service you, it's Dino Hardwoods. I'm telling you, don't forget Dino Hardwoods. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Great locations. They can service you. They can deliver. DinoHardwoods.com. Check out this great Louisiana company. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
What does it feel like?
Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. It's kind of refreshing, though, to have a freshman on and to think about the place he took Stuart Little, very Little Bishop's place. I want you to think about that. There's a gigantic difference from a real man and a real conservative man at that. I'm just telling you, it's just refreshing. Somebody that sounds like a conservative. You know? Now we're gonna get the thing right with this step in the right direction. I just shows you Josh don't listen to me a whole lot. Step in the right direction. I've even had people texting me going, step in the right direction. I said, yes, I was shaking. The producer almost had to come put a blanket on me. I mean, gee whiz. But anyway, but Josh is a real conservative. I feel really good about him. And look, when you look at the comparison of him to Stuart Little, very Little Bishop, a real good old boy network guy that took care of himself. You know, it's refreshing. Some of these freshmen are going to be really good. You know, they're just really going to be good. The problem you got, okay? The problem you got is that the Senate is still the same old good old boy network, same trajectory Senate. And I don't care if Cameron half-ass Henry is the Senate president. You know, by the way, I know this is a bad pick. Okay, and the reason I'm going to say it's a bad pick is because of what he did in the special session. And you know the biggest reason I know Cameron half-ass Henry is a bad pick? The media is loving him. The media is falling all over him. Oh, what a statesman. What a good guy. What a stand-up guy. That's what they do. Clancy DuBose is a joke. He's been a joke forever. He's a leftist Looney Tune out of New Orleans, and everything he pushes left. But don't y'all agree with me? Cameron Henry's getting kudos from the Devil's Advocate. Cameron Henry's getting kudos from the Illuminator, whatever the heck that is. Cameron Henry's getting kudos from Clancy DuBose. He's getting kudos from all the left. That's the Cameron conservative Republican. It's a joke. But the problem is they couldn't remove Cameron Henry if they wanted to. Because out of 28 Republicans, I can promise you a minimum of 20 or 25% of Republicans in the Senate are fake Republicans. They're not conservative. They're not. And they don't have to worry about it because the Democrats and those fake Republicans got Cameron Henry back. They got his back. And it's at least 20 of them to save his job. But when I see the media bragging about Cameron Henry, I see everything I need to know. And your John Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, mentioned our media, how bad it's gotten under the John George Devil's Advocate and Clancy DuBose and these people that keep pushing this same stuff, the same ones that back bail. And so my problem right now goes down to Cameron. Cameron's a problem because he's in the Senate. Just like John Alario was a problem. He was in the Senate. Clancy DuBose, special session. Jeff Landry miscalculated. A leader stood tall. He's bragging about Cameron Henry. They're bragging about old Cameron. They love what he did. Why? Cameron doesn't understand what I'm getting ready to tell y'all, but maybe y'all do. They building up Cameron. The media's going to build up this guy as being something that he's not. And Cameron's buying into the crap because it's too part of the system now. You know? DuBose, I'm talking about the crazy. Landry got punked on his biggest session priority, ditching Louisiana's popular jungle primary for extremely unpopular closed primary. Closed primaries are not unpopular. Republicans and Democrats do it every time a primary election. They go and do it in March when they vote for presidential election, and I've never heard anybody complain about it. It's for people who like parties. You don't like parties, don't be associated with them. I'm not. DuBose says it also would allow party bosses to lock more than 800,000 unaffiliated and other party voters out of closed primaries. So what? If they want to vote, go be a Republican, go be a Democrat. The media is so happy about Cameron Henry and him trying to block Jeff Landry. This ain't the first thing Cameron Henry's going to block. Because the media is all building up somebody who, once they build up, they'll rip him down too. And Cameron's buying into the stuff that's being written in the newspaper about him being a real leader. He's the man. Because he did what? The same crap we do in Louisiana, never moving forward, never even trying to change things. Cameron Henry bought into the Good Old Boy Network. He's a hero. That's why they never wrote about John Alario. He's a hero. They didn't punish Bell Edwards. He's a hero to them. He kept his state being last. Governor almost pulled off his Huey Kingfish long stop. It was not a power grab. I want it. I'm not in power. But senators wanted nothing of it. This is DuBose, led by Senate President Cameron Henry. The upper chamber weakened Landry's closed primary bill. They're excited that a bill got weakened. That was the right thing to do. It's the media. Folks, we're fighting a media just like in Washington, D.C. They are enemies of the state of Louisiana. The John Bell George Advocate. I've been explaining this. Clancy DeBose has hated. He hates anything with conservatives. He hates any change at all. He doesn't mind being last. Clancy DeBose hugs last place. He goes on to say this is a far cry from what the governor wants. They are so excited about Cameron Henry and what the left is doing. They keep saying the changes in Louisiana's jungle primary are likely to confuse and anger voters. Let me tell you what. Clancy DeBose is saying 1 + 1 = 2 is going to confuse people. 1 + 1 = 2 is confusing people. See, they make stuff as they go. Henry, meanwhile, stood tall. He couldn't stand tall if he stand on a ladder. Cameron Henry decided, I like being in the paper. I like the news media liking me. I like the left liking me. I like this position. And I'm telling you, he's going to be a problem because he's given in to the Louisiana way, which is last and damn proud of it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Cameron, don't read the headlines. I'm just telling you. Bad mistake. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1.
Show that's not immune to facts. The Dan Bongino Show here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
She's still out there meeting and greeting voters. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Nikki Haley outside a polling site now in Bedford, New Hampshire on primary day after telling Fox.
We can either go with more of the same or we can go forward.
And Haley says even if she loses today to former President Trump, she's not getting out of the Republican race.
70% of Americans don't want a Trump-Biden rematch.
But former President Trump has been telling New Hampshire voters.
The people behind Nikki Haley are pro-amnesty, pro-China, pro-open borders, pro-war, pro-deep state, and pro-Biden. That's not too good.
His last rally last night included 3 former GOP challengers now supporting him: Doug Burgum, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Tim Scott.
Now is the time for the Republican Party to come together. We have to unify.
There's also a Democratic primary today, but the party's ignoring it, awarding no delegates, wanting South Carolina to count first next month. President Biden isn't even on the ballot in the state. Now, these New Hampshire Democrats tell Fox
it's not meaningless like the DNC says.
I'm annoyed that the Biden and the DNC people did this, because I think they're going to rue the day.
There is a write-in Biden push to prevent Congressman Dean Phillips or Marianne Williamson from winning in New Hampshire. We'll be providing live coverage when the results come in, starting at 6:06 p.m. Eastern tonight at FoxNewsRadio.com. As Israel's war rages in Gaza, it's had its biggest casualties of war in one day. 24 Israeli soldiers have been killed. The blockbuster movies last summer, dubbed Barbenheimer, could clean up at the Oscars.
This is a national emergency. We're in a race against the Nazis.
Oppenheimer was nominated this morning for 13 Academy Awards. Barbie's up for 8 Oscars, including this for Best Song.
I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I'd be.
Both movies will compete for Best Picture. We will find out the Oscar winners on March 10th. America's listening to Fox News.
You know, our friends at Henry Repeating Arms, they manufacture a line of very high-quality rifles, shotguns, and revolvers that you can be very proud to own. Now, they're made in America with parts and materials also from America. Now, they use old-world craftsmanship combined with cutting-edge technology to deliver reliable and accuracy that you can trust in any situation. Now, they're easy to use and maintain. It makes them an excellent choice for both a novice and experienced shooter. Henry has over 200 models, so you can find the firearm that's right for you. There's also new releases all throughout the year, and every purchase is backed by their lifetime warranty and the company's owner. Anthony Imperato also gives his personal guarantee for 100% satisfaction. Now, make sure you go to their website, henryusa.com. Order their free catalog. They'll send you free decals and a list of dealers where you are. That's henryusa.com. Free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are. You're going to love this company and these
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Your drive time is live and local. Hey, folks, it's me, Joe Cunningham, and my show, The Joe Cunningham Show, airs every day from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. You can get it all. News and commentary you can't get from anywhere else on the local, state, and national level, plus your calls and your comments through our KPEL app chat. It's a fun drive home here on the Joe Cunningham Show, News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. If you'd like to be part of the program, the opportunity to be a voice. It is a Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. All righty. We'll get back to some of this later. We're joined by the CEO of the Pelican Institute. Mr. Daniel Ersparmer joins us. Daniel, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing great. How are you?
Daniel, it's a new year, a new day. I got a Tim Tebow study Bible, and the first thing I read in it was a daily devotional that I mix in with what I already do. The first thing was he said, "Remember, today is a new day," and I thought, that's really the way you live. Today is a new day. I
love it,
man. You gotta love it. All right, Daniel. Before I get to you, because I know it's a school choice week and things of that nature, and you got a lot to say, I gotta just back up on the special session. And I'm not going to ask you to really comment big on it, with the exception of one thing. Are you now concerned? Daniel's already laughing, going, here we go. Are you now concerned about us taking any big steps when I thought the lowest hanging fruit we could take was the closed promise? I don't care where you stand on it.
Right.
But if you look at the agenda, I thought it was the lowest hanging fruit for a big step in something. Instead, we get the old step in the right direction. And it bothers me because you got a lot of things on the list. We're getting ready to talk about one. Do we have it in the Senate? Are we going to have it in the Senate to make any big changes? Because I think you're going to agree with me. Without big changes, we're not going to move. I'm just asking. You saw what I saw.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that the status quo, the people who want things to stay the way they are, have the seats of power, access to money, and are aggressive. And so we've known this for a long time. We've felt it. We've seen it. It is going to take substantial pressure from the governor, from voters, to reach out to their lawmakers, to remind them this election was about doing big transformational things. Mm-hmm. And I still do believe we can do them, but there is no question it's going to be hard. It's going to be a fight at every step of the way. And I agree. It appears once again the Senate may be more challenging. There's some great folks in the Senate, and we look forward to working with them. But we're going to have to make sure voters keep reminding lawmakers that we expect big things from them, because otherwise they're hearing from those lobbyists and special interests who are in their ear every single day.
Yeah, when I saw the Senate do what they did, I know, Dan, you got to work with them closer than me. I just cringed. I thought about you. I thought about all the things that we know that can happen with education, which we get ready to get on, tax code, insurance, crime. We got to have some big moves. We can't have a little teeny step in the right direction and don't do nothing. Get tort reform.
That's right.
You talking about tax reform. I know where your heart's at. I know I've seen what y'all have tried to do. But I hope this is not a sign, because if it is, it's going to be a big-time struggle to get anything done. And I'm just hoping this ain't a sign. And, you got to work with them. You still have hope and belief in it. I'm trying to hold on. But, man, I didn't like the way it started. And we'll see what happens after that. But I just wanted to get your comment on it, because it's going to be a war to change the state of Louisiana.
It will.
Yeah. You've been there every day. All right. School Choice Week. Tell us what's going on.
That's right. Well, this is one of those issues, Moon, as you know. So the good news is we're celebrating this week. This is National School Choice Week. So we've been celebrating this every year for the last 10 or 20 years. And this is about celebrating two things. One, celebrating the options that families have now, and really pushing to make sure every family in Louisiana has the option to attend a school that best fits every child. And there's just nothing... there's a lot of important things. As you know, we're going to talk about eliminating the personal income tax. We're going to talk about really restructuring the very face of government. We're going to talk about solutions to poverty. All those are critical. But if we can't fix the education system, if we can't disrupt and get better outcomes for our kids, the rest of this is going to be awfully hard to do. So this is a really important issue, and National School Choice Week gives us a chance to stop and look and focus on these issues and make sure we're doing all we can to provide options for families.
Yeah, I thought you had called me because it was Be Kind to Someone Ugly Week.
That's next week, I think.
Okay. I missed it a week. No, you touched upon it, but to do what you want to do, it's going to take the Senate and the House, and I feel good about the House, but I don't feel good about the Senate right now, because you're looking at big steps, and everything we water down is really a step in the wrong direction, not a step in the right direction. I don't want anything watered down. And when it comes to school choice, what are some things that we need to see them do? Not something to happen in 10 years and 20 years, but to start happening immediately.
Yeah, that's right. We need to make sure that we pass education scholarship accounts like what was proposed and passed through the House last year, that allows for state dollars to follow every child in the state to the school that fits them best. And that could look like a bunch of different things. That could look like a private school, a parochial school, a small Christian school, a homeschool co-op, online education. It could look like a collection of a bunch of those things. It could look like going to a variety of different schools for different courses. This is about personalizing education for the kid and making sure that whatever we do, we want the education to fit the child. And the disruption this will bring to the system will bring out every status quo person from every nook and cranny who benefits from the system. But what we know is doing this will benefit families, children, teachers, the system, the state, everybody. But it's going to take some disruption to get there. And you're right. We've got to take a big swing at this, not only because it's important, but because other states are doing it too. And if we don't do this, we're going to fall farther and farther behind.
How frustrating will it be to pass stuff out of the House and see the Senate shoot it down or water it down? I'm just curious.
It'll be
how frustrating will it be for you?
Incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. And that's why we're actively talking to Senate leadership now, and every rank and file senator. This is the Senate is traditionally right where there's fewer votes, they have more power, and that's where the status quo is going to focus. These are and I'm just going to call them out. This is the School Boards Association, the Superintendents Association, the teachers unions. These are the special interest groups that are going to lobby against allowing families to choose the school that fits them best. And the only way to counter that is to make sure that you, your listeners, your voters know, make your voice heard to your legislator that this is something we need, this is something we want.
You've been doing this a while. What with school choice, what part of it has to pass to us to see a difference? The whole thing, right? I mean, it's got to be a
That's
big
right.
part of what you're trying to pass. It can't be. And by the way, this is not something we're going to phase in over 5 and 10 years, I hope.
No, the goal, I think, is going to phase in over like 2 years. So you make sure you can get the system right. But look, we've been at the state and other private groups have been administering scholarships and vouchers and other things, course choice for well over a decade now. We know how to do this. It's time to go big. It's time to really get that, because you're right. If you just nibble around the edges on this, you don't. It's almost the worst of both worlds. You don't get to help as many kids, and you don't get to really see how it works, and then everybody's unhappy. And it's just that much easier to roll it back. And that's really the threat here. If we can't get this over the finish line in a big way, it's going to be that much easier to roll back when the political winds might change.
Yeah. This is something that's got to happen. All right, the bills, I know they haven't been filed yet. Is it going to be several bills, one big bill? What happens with the bills that y'all hoping to get through?
So I don't know for sure yet. I believe this is going to be one big bill. It may break up into two, but I think it's going to be one bill, and it's going to be probably modeled after the Sunshine Scholarship account that Education Committee Chairman, now Bessie member Lance Harris, brought last year. You know, I think legislators who are leading on this are looking and watching what other states have done and learning lessons, so we can make appropriate tweaks to that to make sure we're doing what we see works best everywhere else and what works best for us. So I don't think it's going to be exactly the same bill, but I think it's going to be in that model. And we're going to make sure every kid has access. Likely what will happen is kids and families who are at the lowest rungs of the economic ladder will have probably first dibs at making sure they have access to this choice, and then expand to everybody. So we're looking at what other states are doing. Over a dozen states have done this now, and the results already are really, really great.
Is there any I know you say dozens of states, any specific state that they could go look at and say, here's where we're trying to go? I wish we did this with economic development. I wish we did it with roads.
Yeah.
I wish we did it with everything. But is there a specific state you're looking at, or is it a combination of a bunch of them?
Well, it's a combination of a few, but the ones that seem to be doing really well, Arkansas, just right on our border. West Virginia did this several years ago. We have a few years of history there. Florida, also a state that's doing this very well. Utah is a state that now has a year or two under its belt that's doing a great job. So those are the states we look most closely at that seem to have the right mix of policies in place to really help kids and drive student outcomes.
Yeah. All right, let me take a quick break. Daniel Erspalmer, the Pelican Institute, will take a break. Be back with him for a few more minutes. You're listening to The Moon Griffon Show. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.one and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.one and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.one. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you, or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, oh, they're good. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Oh, serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC service repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com. Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us as always. 844-766-6607 is the number. It is the Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Daniel Ersparmer with the Pelican Institute. Daniel, so as y'all pursue this and the dream, I want people to know what you're fighting is the establishment. We're fighting the people that like being last because they don't want to change anything. That's the only thing you're really fighting here. And lawmakers with lobbyists right in their face are going to think they're saving the planet and saving Louisiana by not changing anything. This is not the only fight we're going to be in. But this is a gigantic fight we have to win.
You're absolutely right. The opposition, especially on school choice and education freedom is, and look, for some, I get it. It's a system. No one's ever known any different. This is the way it's always been. Those are hard changes to make. But, let's look at the facts of our education system right now. We have only about a third of kids reading at grade level in our state. And only 3 parishes have more than half of kids reading at grade level. So even those districts and parishes who, think they've got it figured out, we've got it great, yeah, compared to ourselves, they're doing much better. And we should encourage that and push that. What we know is when school choice happens, when parents are empowered to make these decisions for their kids, what we see is those kids that make those choices to leave and do something different have better outcomes. And the research tells us that the kids who either choose to stay in the traditional public school or stay because of indifference or whatever other reason also have better educational outcomes. So that's right. If you're for this, you're for better outcomes, more options, better personalization for families. If you're against this, the only argument you have is this is the way we've always done it. And we're spending $8 billion a year on the way we've always done it. It's time for something that will really work for families and kids all across the state.
I had a former representative, senator, state senator, come in my program, Craig Moneybags Romero, and he made a comment. I'm never going to forget. If you put a picture of a good old boy network, that would be him. Okay? And Romero said something. He said, Moon, this is the way we always do it. And I thought, well, we always done it that way, and look at the position we're in. I don't see any arguments against changing what's going on in education, but they're coming, and they're going to spend money, and the unions are going to spend money, and the National Democrats are going to spend money to beat back this. How can this? I'm telling you, the House is probably going to give you everything you want. It's going to be the dang Senate. It's going to be that Senate, and it's going to be fake Republicans. I know you can't say that, but I can. We got a hard fight to win this. This is a gigantic leap versus a small step.
That's right.
By the way, they can't water this down. They can't water this down for 5 years either. This has got to go as quick as we can.
That's right. We got to help as many kids as we can, as quickly as we can. Moon, I'll say one thing, and it's I would encourage particularly conservatives who are worried about this politically or are getting their ears chewed off by the status quo, who also claim to be conservative. Just look at the Senate race between Valerie Hodges and Buddy Mincy. That race became about education. And voters in Livingston Parish said loud and clear they want school choice. So these places that used to claim, we've got great schools, Livingston has schools that outperform lots of the rest of the state, it doesn't mean we have bad schools. What it means is we need disruption. We need options. Every kid is different. The Livingston Parish voters said loud and clear, we want school choice, and that's why they sent Valerie Hodges to the Senate instead of Buddy Mincy, who put his stake in the ground to say we're not changing anything. So I would just encourage those folks who may be against this to look at that and see what the voters really want.
Buddy Mincy got his rear end slaughtered by Valerie Hodges. It was not even close. They weren't even in the same ballpark. That's how bad that election was. So you're right. People want it. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a tough battle to change. And it shouldn't be that hard. And I don't want any watered-down version at all. And that's what bothers me. I don't want the same old. We need change.
We do, and we can't settle for less. You and I had this round and round for years, right, of let's get what we can. Well, what we can now is big. What we can get now, we need not settle for compromise on these issues. What we need is to make the case, because the voters sent lawmakers and a governor and other statewide officials to do big things, and that's what they expect. And look, if these lawmakers come ask for their vote again in a few years, voters aren't going to forget that they didn't do big things, and that's what we have to do. So it's time. We got to make our case and win the fight.
If we'd have got, that's why I told you when we came on, the closed primary was a gigantic, low-hanging fruit we should have won. Then the senators and representatives had to go to Republican primary and look them in the eye and say, I'm a conservative. Oh, no, look at your voting record. It would have been great, but they didn't want that because they don't want to face it. And that's a shame. And I'm right here with you. Y'all welcome anytime. We need to win big for the state of Louisiana. Big.
Amen. Let's do it. I'm ready.
When is your deal going to happen again? I know you put together.
Yes.
When's that coming up?
March 7th in Baton Rouge. Moon, I hope you'll be there. I know we got to work on the date, but hope you'll be there again. It's going to be a great time. We'll have the agenda released here over the next few weeks. We're just confirming some last speakers, but a great time as always, March 7th in Baton Rouge, and keep tuned to pelicanpolicy.org or all of our social media accounts.
Just have your lady get in touch with me. Got to go. Thank you, Dan Earthbaum. We'll be right back. Folks, you hear me brag about a new advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, you look up, you're in the middle of the night, you're looking, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends, they open at night, they can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fractures, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. South Star Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Daniel Erspalmer was my guest. He is the head of Pelican Institute. There's so many things we got to fix, folks, and that's why it bothered me in the closed primary so much. It bothered me that with the Senate and Cameron Henry is being blessed by the media and the Clancy DuBose. I mean, the ignorance of the people that helped put us there, the devil's advocate. Being blessed. Oh, what a man, a statesman, what a stand-up guy. He's the winner. All because they stopped something that would have changed the state. It's the same media and the same Senate that's going to probably shut down so many good things that can happen. This is what I was trying to explain. Daniel came on and made a great point. I mean, this is why I keep saying we need gigantic leaps. The hell with the step in the right direction. It doesn't do anything. And that's why I thought the lowest hanging fruit, close primaries, these guys got to go and ladies got to go back and run against a real conservative Republican. They get beat. Bogus Beaubier gets beat. All you got to do is get the right candidate. He's done. And we couldn't get that done. And they didn't want to get it done. Now we open up the process and do what the hell they want to. People at a term limit like Mark Abraham, they just do what they want to do. They vote the way they want to vote because most people are not watching them. And this is what I meant. Look, there's so many big things we have to do. So many problems to fix, and education's one of them. But watch how much watering down the lobbyists and the people who want Louisiana to stay the same direction. Why would ask, well, why would they want to stay in the same direction? Because there are certain people making a lot of money here, and they make it tied up to government. So if you and your families, we're doing really great here, you don't care about the rest of the people. As the people continue, the young kids continue to leave. They're leaving because they want jobs, they want opportunities. You know, let me give you an example. Just a few things that are big we need to change, okay? If we don't get closed primaries, it's a problem now, and I think it's a problem now. I watch Cameron Henry operate now. He put Cleo Fields ahead of governmental affairs. What else did you need to know? He got the pro tem, Regina Barrow, whatever her name is. She got pro tem, the second in charge. That was all because of the brilliancy of one Cameron Henry. I'm just telling you right now, all these other big decisions we got to make because we don't have term limits, closed primaries, now they're going to do what they want to do because they know when they go back, they can lie to you. We got education. He just brought it up. It's time to change the education system. We got all these people that don't want it. Don't change it. It is great like it is. Really? Compared to who? If we can't, listen to me, if we can't do a gigantic tort reform package, we can't change our insurance rates at all. We can't change them at all. We can't. Trial lawyers are going to nut up if we try to change. I don't know if we even try to change it. But with people like Cameron Henry leading the way, how do you change it? If this guy was weak on closed primaries, how weak will he be on school choice and tort reform? Let me name another one. They're getting ready to do a crime bill special session. Let's see. Let's see how much gets watered down because of the Senate and Cameron Henry. You know, you got Mark Abraham, cocktail Kusan. People don't want to vote right. They love the status quo because the people they represent, the people that help put them money in their pocket, I can name some with cocktail. I can name a lot of them. And they want this state to stay exactly the trajectory we're on now and don't change. Well, folks, how does that best for the kids? How's that best for our families? We need tough crime. We probably need more jails. Part of it. I already saw somebody the other day. I forget who it was, a senator. Well, we ain't going to just build jail. We got to really, they're going to water it down. I'm making my prediction now. I watched them water down closed primaries. Lowest hanging fruit. Insurance. Car insurance. Liability insurance. Tax reform. How are you going to ever do anything big if you never do anything big? Craig Moneybags Romero sat right by me and looked me in the eye and said, Moon, this is how we always done it. Yep. And people like Romero and his buddies get rich, and everybody else either moves out or stays poor. The way we always done it. That's where we are. In the Senate, which is where good bills die, ain't been doing that for the 30-year career I had in radio. Watching the Senate kill a bill, kill it in committee, water it down, water it down, water it down. Gutless bunch of people in the Senate. Not all of them. They don't need all of them. They just need 20 gutless ones. And they got 20 gutless ones. And 11 are Democrats. Throw in Henry, throw in Mark Abraham, throw in Mike Reese, gutless. Those guys are all about the system. They're all about the system not changing, folks. Now, if we're going to fight this, we got to fight it. And Daniel Earthpalmer just said that. We have a lot of big fights. But we're not going to change the state in a big way. We can't change the state in a big way if we don't change the state in a big way. I don't want to hear this 5 and 10-year crap. Education, crime, tort reform, insurance. How about our jobs? How about our tax structure? I'm just asking you. When do we go see? Now, you can say, well, Moon, they just started. I get it. But this was the low-hanging fruit. The first thing lawmakers did right out the gate was protect that they don't have to go in a closed primary and look people in the eye that is the base of the Republican Party and say, I voted that way because, and get beat. They know they're going to get beat if you put somebody up against them. All right, one call real quick. Let's go to Jeremy, Shreveport, Louisiana. Jeremy, how you doing?
Hey, Moon, how are you today?
I'm fine.
I have one comment for you. We do need more prisons, more jails, but let me tell you what's going to make it the best thing. We need to make it a jail. We need to treat jail like jail and quit treating the prisoners better than some of these elderly we have or veterans. I mean, jail is a vacation. If they treated it like a jail, they would have plenty of money. They don't need extra money. They need to make what they have an actual jail.
Well, I hadn't been in one, so I can't answer that. But I know this. The crime problem here is ridiculous. We have to do something.
Well, it comes down to
if jail's a part of...
If you don't want to go to jail, you won't do the crime.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Right now, you're looking at, you can go and get 3 hots and a cot and internet and tablet and free food and all this luxury that our own elderly can't even get.
Yeah.
And it's making it where jail's looking pretty dang good to some people.
Well,
people without pride, of course.
I don't think you'd let harsh criminals out early either, like Bell Edwards did walking out the door. He let 44 of them out there. 44 harsh criminals, murderers out. So, listen, all I'm telling you is if we don't do something big, we'll never get to where we need to go. And we have a chance. But that's why the closed primaries bother me. I watched the Senate be under the same leadership it's always been, a zero burger. I watched Blank Page Cortez, a true enough zero, do nothing and kill good legislation. Just telling you, this is with 2/3 Republicans in the House and Senate. and the Republican governor. Got to go, Jeremy. Thanks for the call. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts. AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com. Folks, you hear me brag about a new advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, you look up, you're in the middle of the night, you're looking, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends, they open at night, they can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fractures, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You know you can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. South Star Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. Y'all, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, last segment of the second hour. 844-766-6607 is the number. You can always email me, moon@moongriffon.com. Moon@moongriffon.com. Somebody writes, can't fix the state by sending a bunch of money to the fix Democrats. It's time for them to live with their political choices. You insist on voting for Democrats and you get the hellhole you deserve. Yes, Democrats have been wrong. You know, that's another funny thing. That's why everybody got so up. I talked to Junk Mayor Julie Emerson yesterday. That's why people got so upset by putting Democrats on these big committees. It's not a bigger committee than the health and hospitals. There's none bigger than health and hospitals. None. And a woke Representative Dustin Miller sits on it. And Cleo Fields get governmental affairs, which can be a big committee at times like it was in a special session. By the way, state where your home will sell quickest. Louisiana, one of the hardest states to sell your home. I mean, it just don't change. But we don't change. If we don't make changes, if we the people don't demand changes, we are not going to change. We're ranked 45th. And the ones worse than us, New York, Wyoming, which is the middle of nowhere, New York, which is hellhole, and Hawaii, which I bet it is hard to sell because you don't have that many people moving there. It's a very, very expensive state. There's Louisiana at the bottom hole. At the bottom. Unbelievable. That's what I'm telling y'all, that if we're going to really make Louisiana grow and make it good and prosperous, Doing the same thing over and over again ain't the answer. But look what happened in the Senate on something as easy as closed primaries. The confusion. The lies about how much it was going to cost before the bill was written. The lies about how it disenfranchised voters before the bill was written. We found out it didn't enfranchise anybody that was in a no party. They could still vote. Although I don't like that at all. I think that's horrible. But we had to water down closed primaries. And guess who's happy? The media. The media's happy. The left is happy. The people that want this state to stay last, they are excited because they can now elect Republicans who can be Democrats, who can act like leftists. They're excited. The people that are excited about closed primaries not being on the governor and the statewide and the Senate and House members are all the people in your community who love big government and who love the trajectory of the state of Louisiana. They love it because they make their money. All these things with Psycho Bill Cassidy running around telling people, this is bad, this is bad. It's crazy. By the way, there was something out of another newspaper, Illuminator, winner, Cameron Henry, veteran conservative lawman. Conservative my rear end. He ain't the governor's puppet. The Senate also got its own way in almost everything, including congressional map, its senator-sponsored Drew, and closed primary bill with a litany of Senate amendments. Yes, the Senate will kill this state. Go read all 39 of them. There will be some that will vote right. The Senate is the death knell for the great state of Louisiana. By the way, I just got a kick out of this. So, going through my daily routine, picking up articles, reading, talking to people, calling people. Port Nola project gets $226 million federal grant despite questions from the St. Bernard officials. U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy, one of a handful of Republicans involved in negotiation and passage of the $1.3 trillion federal infrastructure bill that provided money touted the award. Bill's out there spending money we don't have. You heard John Kennedy say, if they quit buying our debt, we're dead. Senator Kennedy said, they quit buying our debt. The United States of America is dead, and there's Cassidy going out there trying to buy votes for his next election. Psycho Bill Cassidy, quote, the money to build a new terminal in the Port of New Orleans is good for commerce, good for jobs, good for coastal communities, because I had a seat at the table for the infrastructure law. Louisiana punched his ticket. I brought back this money. Me. And the whole thing, federal money. And yet, Senator Kennedy, I asked him, what happens? He said, Moon, we ain't got nothing to worry about as long as they buying that debt. I've been telling y'all this for many, many years. When they quit buying the debt, you would think these countries hate our guts. China hates us, all these countries. Don't you think it might be a plan that we keep running up debt because they are out of control spending in Washington? Once we get to a certain level, 35 trillion, 40 trillion, 50 trillion, all these so-called great countries are going to go, hey, we're not buying y'all debt. What happens to the United States of America? Senator Kennedy told me. We go down. We're done. We'd be in a Great Depression. And there's Bill Cassidy on the flip side, Psycho Bill, running out there bragging about all the money they're giving away. So what happens when they quit buying the debt? You think you won't see Psycho Bill in this state. He'll hide like a scalded dog. He will run and hide. And the thing about it, he's out there bragging about all that. He was the one against term limits. Why? Trying to save his rear end, trying to save his job. $226 million. All federal money saving Louisiana right now. And that's Cassidy. Going against closed primaries so Cassidy can work his magic and win again. I will be voting in that primary. And I don't have to change my voter participation. I don't have to change my registration at all. I don't think it ought to be so. I don't think I should get the vote now, unless I become a Republican. But if Cassidy's on the ballot, anytime Cassidy's on the ballot and I can vote, I'm going to vote against Psycho Bill. It's all this money. See, he thinks no problem. He was worried about how much money it was going to cost to hold these close primaries. He signed off to $1.3 trillion. That's what they told us. It's probably $2 trillion if the truth is known. We never know. They put a figure on it, and it's always a lot more than they tell us. That is a fact. But that's Psycho Bill. I was at the table. I was at the table. I had a seat at the table on how to spend money we didn't have. I had a seat at the table to run up debt. But see, Psycho Bill won't come on my program. He'll go all around me. Local, all around me. He will not come on this show. He had 7 years, as many times as he wanted to come on. Yet now he will not come on the show. I got a lot of questions for Psycho. Why won't Psycho Bill come on my program, folks? I just don't understand that. He's smarter than me. He's a doctor. He's a senator. He should come on this program and embarrass the hell out of me. That's what he ought to do. I would love for him to come embarrass me. The problem is he's going to be embarrassed, all the questions I got for him, and they built up now. Crescent City Connection awarded $226 million grant, throwing money left and right. Because he was at the table. He negotiated it for us. Yep. And I've said this all the time, and I've told y'all that for many years. When they quit buying our debt, when some of these countries said, can't do it anymore, y'all out of control, and we all out of control. What happens to you and me? What happens to the common guy that gets up and goes to work every day? The guy retired, the man and woman that's retired, the one that had raising a family with 3 or 4 kids. What happens to those people, middle-class workers? Ask Cassidy what happens if they quit buying the debt. He's going to run and hide. That's what he's going to do. Anybody know him, tell him I want him on the program, but I want him in person, eye to eye, face to face. I want him to see this. I got the cutest little baby face. I want him to see it. We'll take a break. The rest of you, God bless. Have a great day.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
Enthusiasm in New Hampshire. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, with the first presidential primary underway.
We are currently at the biggest polling station in the state, and it is very, very busy. People coming in and out.
Fox Business's Madison Allworth in Bedford, New Hampshire, where the line's been out the door, and Nikki Haley has been taking selfies with voters. But former President Trump urging the party to unite behind him. It's only been 10 weeks since Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips launched his run for president.
Very ragtag upstart group, and I think we're in a surprise tonight.
Phillips telling Fox News President Biden and former President Trump should both be retired by now and that he wants to be a bipartisan leader.
We're all Americans, and I'm tired of American leaders who believe that by demeaning half of our country, it is somehow accretive to the American experience. It's nonsensical, and I'm sick of that.
He's hoping to send a message by beating the write-in campaign for President Biden, who isn't on the New Hampshire ballot after the party made South Carolina first. You can hear live coverage of the results tonight beginning at 6:06 p.m. Eastern Time at foxnewsradio.com. No border deal yet on Capitol Hill.
The Senate is still negotiating a border deal with the White House. The details mostly a mystery as negotiators are keeping talks behind closed doors. Senator Chris Murphy, one of the Democrats Democrats negotiating the deal yesterday, giving an update saying, quote, "We are at the point of drafting and finalizing text. We don't have an enormous amount of work left to do. This is really hard, difficult stuff. I frankly think it's a miracle we've gotten as far as we have. But some Republicans think it will be a miracle if this deal becomes a reality."
Fox Business' Hillary Vaughn at the Capitol. Republicans want policy changes. The White House hopes to win support for President Biden's supplemental budget request, more than $100 billion worth. That includes money for Israel and Ukraine in addition to border security. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, a lot of you know that I learned how to use a firearm when I was 11 years old. I've been practicing my entire life, and people ask me all the time, Hannity, what kind of gun should I get? Well, now I'm telling them, go to Henry Repeating Arms. And I always tell them to start just by going to their website, henryusa.com. You're going to get a free catalog. Now, Henry has over 200 models of rifles and shotguns to choose from. They're made with the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen, and you don't beat their performance. Every one I have was accurate right out of the box and reliable ever since. Their company motto is made in America or not made at all. They have a lifetime warranty, family-owned business, and these folks are true patriots who give back to our military, our vets, our first responders, sick kids, you name it. They support gun safety, and they support our Second Amendment. So if you're in the market for a high-quality, American-made firearm, just go to henryusa.com. You get their free catalog, list of dealers, and free decals, henryusa.com. You'll love this company.
Rage in Minnesota as a city rejects a proposal to reform police policy.
The Brooklyn Center City Council voting against a proposal to limit traffic stops for minor violations, including expired tabs, excessive noise, and broken taillights. Violations that led to a traffic stop almost 3 years ago for 20-year-old Dante Wright, shot and killed when he tried to flee police. His mother, Katie Wright, blasting the city council Monday night.
You guys are some sorry people, and more people are going to die because you guys didn't do the right thing.
A former Brooklyn Center police officer was sentenced to prison over Wright's shooting. The city also settled a multi-million-dollar wrongful death lawsuit in the case.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. A Vatican charity hopes to stop a first-of-its-kind execution.
The first-ever execution by nitrogen hypoxia, set for Thursday in Alabama. Now the Vatican-affiliated Sant'Egidio community, with an 11th-hour appeal, argues the method is barbarous and would bring indelible shame to the state. Kenneth Eugene Smith to be executed for the contract killing of a preacher's wife. Smith already beat the executioner's needle when they couldn't get a vein for a lethal overdose. The Alabama Attorney General told a federal appeals court nitrogen hypoxia is the most painless and humane execution known to man, where the oxygen we need to breathe is replaced with all nitrogen. But since it's never been done, no one knows. Sant'Egidio calls it an awful ambition. Therese Crowley, Fox News.
Turkey's parliament is now debating a long-delayed bill to approve Sweden's bid to join NATO, which Turkey, a NATO member, has been delaying because it accuses Sweden of being too lenient toward groups it regards as security threats. Stocks turning lower after a streak of records. Now the Dow's down about 170 points. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.